you. Thank you. What does Beck would say? God is good.
He owns everybody.
He owns everybody. He owns it. Well, welcome to our second half. Let's see if we need any song now. No, we don't need a song. We just did one, Hero, which not everybody sang. I was watching. Who was singing? Who wasn't? Have your names in a book. Non-singers, singers, sopranos. Sopranos, they're in the corner, like up here, like do not sit next to. Okay. Anyway. That's a joke that happened this morning. Okay, this is a great book, by the way, and I'm not getting any money from this, but this guy is so funny, and he's so good. He's so spiritual. It's called Dare to Be Yourself, and how to quit being an extra in other people's lives and become a star on your own. So this is our portion, is how to be a star on your own, how to accept your stardom. That's it. Okay, so who is the most important person in a movie?
The star.
Well,
The producer? In the movie.
no, the actor. The actor. The actor is I said the writer, the director, the actor. The actor is the star. The actor makes the words come alive. The actor gives the feeling to the words. Of course, the actor cannot do anything without what person? No, the producer. There's the money. That's where the money comes in. Comes in from the producer of a movie. Right. So, and of course the writer has to write the words, but it's the actor who really lives the words. So that's what we want to be. This is your life. It's your life. It's my life. Ask yourself or think about, how long have you been taking direction from other people? Oh, who's directing your life? Who tells you what to do? And why do they tell you to do it? They tell you to do it because you allow it, number one. Why they do it? Because people will try to do anything if they can get away with it. I'm talking about feelings and people like that. So if you've been taking direction all your life, do you say what you think people want to say? Do you make yourself charming and cute, even if you're 75 years old? People do that. You know, senior citizens do that all the time. You know, can I have that coffee, please? I'm going to be here like 2 more days. I'm living, but the best person to talk about senior citizens is Joan Rivers, really and truly, because she says it right. You know, she goes out with a senior citizen, because now she's 78 years old. She told us one story. We saw her in New York 3 weeks ago. So she tells the story. A senior citizen asked her for a date. She went out, and he's sitting across the table. They're having dinner, and all of a sudden he leans like this, and she said, "Oh, he's getting so romantic. He had a stroke."
Oh,
Right. Yeah. Huh? It wasn't funny. All right. Anyway, so get rid of them. You know, you don't need that. But they use you. They use it. You know, do you ever watch the senior citizens? They push little kids in the store. Gets me crazy. Really. They try to push them out of the way, you know, because they think because they're older. Right. So I trained my grandchildren to push back. Or with your wagon, go. Just go. This is one of my best friends, my best friend. And I go out shopping with her sometimes to supermarket. You don't want to go with her. She's like, I don't want to hurt that person. I don't want to say, Carol, push the wagon. So I have to take the wagon behind her. Go. I'm going to have her on Walmartians one of these days. So she's a star in her own life. She's a star in her own life, as is Kathy and Janine, as every single person here is a star in your own life. You have the starring role. God gave it to you. You might have gone through things before, and too bad you went through them, but you have to forget it because you want to now stand on these 2 feet that are so beautiful and are wearing cheap shoes. Because you'd rather buy nice clothes. Who's going to look at the shoes? You know? No, that is a joke, but okay. You may wonder why you're not happy. You wonder sometimes why you're not happy simply because, as I said, you try to do things the way people want you to do things. Way the specialists, the professionals. Don't you love that word, professional? It really used to get me. I worked in the school district, and I remember one day one of the teachers said, well, you know I'm a professional. I said, you should put a period after PRO. So, she got it. You can hide who you are, but you can never destroy who you are. You have to discover and live from your own inner truth. You have to be all that you can possibly be. No matter what has occurred before, you have learned something from it. If you've stayed or live or know someone who is not kind or doesn't treat you or other people the way they should, it's time to move on and away from that person. It could be a friend, but this is the friend that when you don't call them, they say, oh, well, you didn't call me yesterday. You know, maybe you had a lot of things to do. Do they care what you're doing? If they're not caring what you're doing, then you have taken the extra role and they're in the middle being the star. And that's not what you want. You want to be the star in your life. Not because you're going to tell everybody you're the best of this or that, but you want to find peace with yourself. You don't want to think, I know all of us growing up, probably there was the prettiest girl in the class, or the most handsome boy in the class, or the richest girl or family in the school, and you felt less than because you weren't where they were at the time. You either didn't have that much money, or maybe you weren't that pretty, or something else. And around them, you always feel a little small. Well, small. There is one story in this particular book that I will tell you about, and he writes that happened to him because he was, I don't know if anybody here has ever heard of the Suns, S-U-N. They used to do workshops maybe 15, 20 years ago. In here, yes, son, Paula's son, right? Right. Now, Alan Cohen absolutely adored Paula's son. He thought she was the most wonderful thing on earth, and it was his dream someday to participate in a workshop with her. This has nothing to do with Paula. So now he's called upon eventually, because this was his work, he's called upon to do a workshop, and he sees her, and he feels like he's tongue-tied. He feels like he can't say anything. He can't move, that everything he says is going to be wrong, or it's going to be held under scrutiny, or he'll never be like she and her husband are. So he felt so tight. He said it was the worst workshop he ever did for himself. And this is what we find ourselves looking at other people at times like they're better. And that might come from, as I said just a few moments ago, the prompters within, that you're not good enough. You know, our parents or somebody else were probably poor, maybe foreign, raised in a different way, and they didn't want you to be hurt or injured in any way. So they'd say, you can't go there, or you can't be with those people, you can't. And so it clings to you, it stays with you, that you're not as good as. And that's a hard, difficult thing to do. But if you look at it, and I know Carol always laughs when I said it, I don't care if it's the Pope, the President, or even Donald Trump. If you stick them with a pin, they're going to bleed. They're no different than we are. Not one bit different. They're the same, except they have been able to be the stars in their life. That's exactly what they are. However they did it, you know, that's their own business, but we look at authority like it's up here. Authority is nowhere unless we put it up there. We are the authority that makes the authority, but that never comes back to you. You're never told that. But you are the one that makes that person important. So it goes on and on. There's times when we feel out of control. So because there's forces greater than I, we seem to be hurt, like going in that dark closet I spoke about. But there is something within you that will make you claw your way out. When you know that your strength is so great at sometimes, why can't you keep that strength going on all the time? Why does it matter what somebody says to you? What do you care? They say something rude to you. They say something to make you feel small or not good enough. What makes them so important to criticize you? Nothing. Only you do. You then again step back and let them take the starring role. My advice to you is make a nice little card. I have a big one. Hang it around your neck, put it on your desk, put it someplace, and say, so what? Oh, you know, I think maybe you shouldn't wear that type of, oh, that color is not really good for you. So what? Your husband doesn't make a lot of money. So what? You were 5 minutes late for work today. So what? Think of it. It works all the time. Mario was late today. So what? Mario said, I'm doing this for nothing, Maria. So what? Okay. Within each one of us, we're almost reaching our time. Within each one of us, as I told you before, is this golden statue. Alan Cohen tells the story of this Buddhist from the book, this Buddhist monastery where they were being taken over. So they had a golden statue of Buddha. So they didn't know what to do with it. So they clothed it. They stuck cement on it and made it ugly, you know, brown and everything else. I think it was the Japanese invaded them. And you heard the story before?
I saw it.
Yeah. Okay, so what happened is the Japanese didn't bother the golden Buddha. They left it alone.
They didn't know it was there.
They didn't know it was there. So one day when the new people took over, the Buddhists later on, they said, we have to get rid of this. It's so ugly. Everybody's saying, so one young monk starts to carry this thing. They're carrying it, all carrying, and a piece chips off. A piece chips off, and the monk said, something's underneath there. So now they chip another piece. It's solid gold. Solid gold. And they had saved it, and now it's still there. They have it. But that's what we are, underneath the shell that has been put upon us, or we have put upon ourselves. Can't blame everybody. We have to sometimes accept it. We accept it, and then we say, so what? You don't like it, so what? I don't like it, so what? You know, back and forth. Back and forth. But you know, you got to live through it. You got to do it. You got to do the work. You got to take the steps. You got to go have your ups, you have your downs, because this is life. That's what it's all about. You can pray yourself out of it. That you know, when you have belief, you know whatever you have been experiencing, you don't have to stay there. You don't have to stay with, and you can change. The greatest words are the words of Ernest Holmes. There's a power in the universe that is greater than we are, and we can use it. It's so simple to use, and we make it so difficult. We think it's a big deal. I think we have to write a letter to the Pope and get permission. But you don't. You don't. It's all in you. It's all in us, in me. If I went around the room and asked where you came from or where your people came from, they, you know, wherever they came from was perfect, because look what has happened since. What has happened since? Nothing to ever be ashamed of. If you came, actually, I came from East Harlem, you know, but now they're making it fancy. But it was an Italian, Spanish neighborhood. What's the difference? You know what people say, oh, Harlem, oh my gosh, you know, Harlem. But no, it's not. It's beautiful now. And it doesn't matter. To us it was beautiful. We got along. I never knew prejudice in my life because my mother wasn't prejudiced unless somebody cheated her in a store and then she hated everybody. But otherwise, there's no prejudice. And this, if you don't have that, you have goodness. You have God within you. You have truth within you. You have life within you. You have beauty within you. You have to know how beautiful you are. You have to know all the things that you've accomplished. How many people that you might have helped just by smiling at them that day. That day. There's a story we heard of once, that this priest was in the confessional, and somebody came in and spoke to him, saying his confession, and the time had passed, so it was late, past the times they usually have a confession. This is in the Catholic Church. But the priest stayed. I think it was in St. Francis of Assisi Church on 33rd Street, because they do confessions 24 hours a day. No, 12 hours a day now. Okay, so the priest stayed. So the man stepped out of the confessional. The priest came out of the confessional because it was late. And the man said to the priest, "Thank you, Father, for staying and listening to me." So he said, "Why?" He said, "Because if you didn't, I would have killed myself and killed you." Yeah, he had a gun. But you see the little things you do, you don't know who you're helping. Small little things. He could have been abrasive, the priest, and said, "No, my time's up, all this." But he wasn't. But that's your God self speaks to you, says, "Stay there. Help that person." Or do this. Help your daughter. Help your son. Even though you might not be speaking that day. Call them up. Call them up. They're perfect too. Sometimes we all fall a little short of the mark of being the star, and we need a new agent. So we have to smarten up and be our own agent too, and put ourselves into the position where we will help ourselves, help our families, help humanity. It's part of that. It's all part of that. The other thing to remember is never give your power away. Never. If it's someone in authority and we think they're better than we are, if someone has more education, again, I think I said that before, and you think you're not smart enough, it's not true. If someone speaks a particular language and it's perfect and you've studied it for 10 years and you still sound bad, it's not true. You've done it. You've done the work. So it's good. There is nobody higher than you are personally. There is a higher power. We all know that. It's a higher power. And that's the power that we rely on. The power that makes us laugh or wants to laugh. The power that says, go help this person. Bake a cake. Anything. Talk to somebody. When you just walk past people, they think like they don't exist. You don't want to do that. There's enough people like that do that. But we don't have to do that. We don't have to. Now, you think these people that are so wealthy that you think, oh, that's so great. You think they're happy? Think about Leona Helmsley. She had nobody to leave her money to except her dogs and cats. Think of Lady Gaga. I don't think anybody here would want her nose. And then there's Bill Gates. He's a semi-recluse. We admire him so much. Yes, we admire him for what he's accomplished, but he's a recluse. Does he laugh? Does he dance? Does he sing? Does he relate to other people? No, he's done his good in the world and he's there, but it's nothing to say, "Oh my goodness, I met Bill Gates yesterday." I would be more interested in meeting Clooney. That would be my guy. So don't give your power away. Here are some rules to guide you before we close. Don't ever pity yourself. People think it's good to pity themselves and talk about their problems and on and on. If you have one best friend or two, share it, but then let it go. Let it go, and let it go for your dear friend who's probably crying after you left. But let it go. And if they want to give you advice, take what you think is necessary and leave alone what's not. And stop being hard on yourself. We're too hard on ourselves. If we've done something wrong, we say we're sorry to ourselves, and we go on from that point. Everybody can make a mistake. That's it. It's just a mistake. It can't be held against you. If anybody has grudges and they hold them forever, they're the ones that are going to suffer for it. And as I said before, if someone has left you, they did you the best favor you ever got, because there's a reason for that. There's a reason. It's the reason that will make you grow stronger forever and evermore. And self-love is not vanity. Self-love is taking care of the creature that God created. The body, for the body, the clothes, the face, the hair, anything. For the men, the beauty that is in men. We talk about men and we joke about men, but they are the strength. They are the strength. I'll teach all the women here. You try to go buy a car by yourself. You try to go buy a car. You try to carry a suitcase by yourself. And you know how we pack. We don't pack like, 4 things. You have a man call the oil company. They'll come and fix your oil burner. Yeah? Or cut your tree or do your lawn. These men are extremely important. Extremely. And I bow to all of them here. Thank you. Thank you. I love you. I love you. I love you. So, we're almost closing. Even though things have been hard in the past, you can make a complete change by believing in yourself. You're great, you're beautiful, you're kind, you're wonderful, you're all perfect children of God, everyone. And there's no competition. You are what you are, and that's the perfection that God created. So we're now going to cast for a new movie. Look up on the screen and see yourself as a star. Saying smile, action, camera, and remember all the power that's in the word. So every time you say I am, you're casting yourself in a movie. So say these words. I am a star.
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 I'm a star. I'm a star. Don't you know I'm a star? Okay. Okay, and we remember the words of Ernest Holmes. There's a power in the universe for good, and you can use it. So I do have some questions for you to do, but I think it's getting too late. So I'll give them to you, and I'll see you all at the Academy Awards.